welcome to the second ever episode of the Moviebusters podcast. Last week we discussed The Big Lebowski, the Coen Brothers film, and this week we're discussing Predator, starring Arnold Schwarzenegger, as I'm sure you're aware. We had a poll on Twitter, choosing from Predator, The Shining, and Blade Runner. The Blade Runner was Jack's choice.
Yes, it was. Came second.
Yeah.
So it did very well, but
not well enough. I chose The Shining, and that came last. How? It's Kubrick. Anyway, moving on. Dave won.
Again, this week's theme is the theme of salt. As you can tell earlier by their comments, I've won the second week in a row. They're not happy.
Well, just to counter Dave's argument, I think that if I would have picked Ghostbusters, we'd have won down outright. I'm not going for the winners. I'm going for the thing that sparks discussion.
I thought you were going to say Chicken Dinners then.
No, I don't know what you're talking about.
I picked Predator because it is a good film.
I think it's a good film. We'll get on to that.
Come on.
It's not good.
Such a good film.
It's not amazing. It's good though.
It's one of my favourites.
We'll talk about that later. But talk about why you chose Blade Runner anyway.
I'd actually Blade Runner. It's quite an early 80s film. I mean, like I said, you can pick anything. The 80s is all teen comedy. You've got The Breakfast Club. You've got Pretty in Pink. But I just thought let's go for something that I always go for films that no one appreciates first time around. Blade Runner's.
It's probably why you don't get picked, really.
Well, yeah, but Blade Runner is universally known for being hated the first time you ever watch it.
Yeah.
Because it's a neo-noir sci-fi film that doesn't really work. But then you watch it again, and everything comes together. I think it's you have to watch it twice to appreciate it. But honestly, my personal pick there would have been The Shining. I'm very surprised that you didn't win.
To go on from your point as well, saying about how people don't usually appreciate Blade Runner first time round. I didn't appreciate The Shining first time round. Mm-hmm. And watching it a second time instantly became one of my favourite films of all time. Definitely my favourite horror film.
Did you not appreciate it because it was a horror, or did you not appreciate it because it was Kubrick?
I didn't appreciate it because I was young. Probably.
Okay.
But I think another reason why I didn't appreciate it, I think it's probably both, not naivety of not knowing who Kubrick was in his films, but more naivety, the way it ended, I felt was anticlimactic at first. Mm-hmm. And then I watched it again, I kind of thought, oh yeah, that kind of works actually. It works better than I kind of thought it did originally, but that's probably it. This is probably going to be another episode of the podcast.
Yeah, I mean, we probably might make a selected viewing of it another time. I mean, both films are probably selected again.
Yeah, definitely.
But back onto Predator. So Predator won by one vote, but it won regardless. And I'm quite glad we picked it because it's one of them films where it's not appreciated in the fact of filmmaking. It's appreciated in the fact of quotable Arnold Schwarzenegger legacy. Yeah. And it's very difficult to take away because not only is Predator known for Schwarzenegger, but it's also known for starting a franchise that Schwarzenegger didn't really carry on with. I mean, it's a franchise. Let's not beat around the bush. This film, I don't think anyone designed this to be a one solo film. I think this was designed as a franchise. It's very similar to the Aliens films. I mean, if it was the first film was designed as a standalone film, there surely was going to be sequels to that degree of being in the same sort of vein as.
You say that, but did it get a better legacy moving on
from Schwarzenegger?
Yeah,
I would say no.
Well, Schwarzenegger didn't take part in any more Predator films, but Alien and Aliens definitely did get a bigger kind of legacy about it.
Well, Ridley Scott never carried on, but then again, he did give James Cameron his blessing.
And many people will say Aliens is better than Alien as well.
So Predator's 1987.
Yeah, I think so.
1987.
I think it's the latest of the ones we chose. I think it was Shining. Shining's early 90.
Both of them, 1980 Shining, 1982 for Blade Runner.
Yeah,
it's 19. So Dave, why did you pick Predator then?
Well, you guys said to me that we had to pick an 80s film.
Yeah,
and my idea of the perfect or stereotypical 80s film is this. I'm talking cinematography, the music. The characters, the lines, it is the most 80s film I think I've ever seen.
Homoeroticism as well.
It's beautiful.
Definitely.
Yeah.
So what would have you chosen your second choice then?
What, if we were going 80s films?
Yeah, again.
Because
I would have thought you would have picked a teen comedy. I thought that you were definitely going to go for something Back to the Future, but then again...
It was Arnie though, isn't there?
Back to the Future is my favourite film ever.
Yeah,
but
that's true. Yeah.
I think that probably would have been my second choice. If not, probably The Breakfast Club.
Mm-hmm.
So I do love The Breakfast Club.
So let's go back onto Predator. Predator's 1987, directed by John McTiernan, or Tyron, I believe it is.
Die Hard, yeah.
Die Hard,
yeah.
Last Action Hero, The Hunt for Red October. Quite a few big action films on his filmography. had a bit of troubles later in life, actually lying to the FBI, and he served.
Jesus, really?
Yeah, he served.
Next, I was looking at his filmography. He hasn't really done anything recent. Like
The last is Basic with Samuel Jackson and John Travolta.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah,
and that's a very strange film. But early 90s, I mean, Die Hard with a Vengeance is one of my personal favourite films of his.
Yeah,
his filmography. That's really good. But he's done. He's what people do consider the action director of his time.
He's a cultivator of the genre. Really.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, if you've got Schwarzenegger as an actor, and you've got the Sylvester Stallone, the Bruce Willis as an actor, you've got John Tyrone as one of the three directors of his generation of directing. I mean, did you know how many cast members do you reckon is in this film
altogether? About
24.
I go for about 20.
There's 10.
There's 10.
There's 10, excluding the 2 uncredited helicopter pilots in the finale. Yeah. There is 10 characters in this film.
So that's extras as well, or
no, just main characters. So characters have basically screen time.
Makes more sense.
So 8 of them.
I imagine the set's not expansive.
I think it's all on location.
Yeah.
So this is produced by Joel Silver. Joel Silver's a huge Warner Brothers producer.
Yeah.
So he produced the Sherlock Holmes film, the Wachowskis, the Matrix trilogy, Speed Racer, the Wachowskis again. He's huge in Warner Bros. But he's left Warner Bros. Now. This film ended his and Arnold Schwarzenegger's relationship. The shoot was so difficult for them to actually film. I mean, at the end when he covers himself in mud, that was him covering himself in mud, and all of his body temperature would go down.
Really?
So that he would start to freeze, and they tried to make him drink schnapps so he could warm himself up, but he just got him drunk. So there's some really good stuff about it. Yeah. So joining Schwarzenegger in the film is Bill Duke, who's also in Commando.
Oh yeah.
About 2 or 3 years earlier.
The guy who's Jesse Ventura's mate.
Yeah. Who just goes mental. Jesse Ventura, as you've just said.
Yeah.
Who went to go run for mayor.
Yeah.
Well.
He was very good apparently as well. He just spoke his mind. He's very.
He's very strange in the film. You've got Shane Black, who went on to direct Kiss Kiss Bang Bang. Oh, okay. Went on to direct Iron Man 3.
Yeah, I thought I recognised that name.
I think he was basically on set to rewrite the film. I mean, he wrote, I believe, Lethal Weapon on set. Shane Black, 21 doesn't know.
Oh yeah, he sold the $1 million.
Yeah, the first $1 million script. Carl Weathers of obviously Apollo Creed, and obviously Arrested Development fame. But
who's the guy who? What's the other one who he goes in and then he stripped off and the.
Oh, is Solly something? Do you know
he ran for governor as well?
Yeah, well, in Kentucky, yeah. They had to hire a bodyguard for him because apparently
bonkers, isn't he?
Yeah, he was so mad. I believe his name is Sonny Landham.
Yeah,
who plays Billy. That's his name. Yeah.
So there's three people in this film who ran for governor.
Mm-hmm.
One got them. One got
two of them did. Two of them did.
Yeah, Jesse Ventura.
Did he?
Jesse Ventura did as well. Yeah.
Wow.
I'm not
I
too
should
sure
run for governor.
if
I didn't. I think
he was actually a porn star as well.
Like you say, he was bonkers. I think a lot of that transcended over into his political views as well. I think he was kind of notoriously a bit dodgy around the whole kind of, stuff that you don't want to get into.
Yeah. So when Predator was released, Predator was very strange, to critical damnation once again. Really didn't do very well.
Really?
Critic. I mean, it's got
I'm surprised by that.
A Metacritic of 36. Jeez. But it's got a user rating on IMDb of 7.8, so it's quite good. I mean, it's the same one as quite a few Kubrick films. So has it stood the test of time? Do you think?
Well, I watched it for the first time, so.
Oh wow!
Yeah, so.
Wow!
How come you've not? Seen
it's just these kind of films like Predator, Commando. I haven't seen that either. I haven't seen Total Recall. A lot of the big action films, I haven't seen any of them, and I don't know if that's just because I'm shying away from them because I've not enjoyed a lot of them in the past that I've seen. Well, I enjoyed Die Hard. Die Hard's one of my favourite films, and Terminator 2 is one of my favourite films.
I think the longer you leave these films, the less you do appreciate them, purely because we're in a different age now. Yeah,
I mean, when I was watching it, I thought, well, initially I was like, with Predator, the actual Predator itself, I was kind of like, this is quite cool, the infrared kind of stuff. I imagine at the time that was very
Do you want to know an interesting fact?
No.
You know that Jean-Claude Van Damme was hired to play the Predator and stormed off set.
Interesting.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Interesting facts
Put on
Jack.
your thinking caps. Interesting facts.
Facts Jack.
With Jack.
Yeah.
It's not hashtag Dave wins, but
hashtag that, and we'll get that off the
Jack
ground.
Facts.
Jack Facts.
Yeah, hashtag Jack Facts.
Shut the fuck up. Right, here we go. So yeah, as you were saying, you've seen quite a few. You've seen quite a few. Have you seen any of John McTierman's?
I've seen Die Hard.
Teenan's. So you've seen Die Hard?
I've seen Die Hard. I haven't seen
Who
much
hasn't
back in
seen
the day,
Die
really.
Hard?
Yeah, I was guess like it's one of those
A few
ones.
people haven't seen Die Hard.
Really? I grew up with these kind of films.
So Rob, you watched it on home video.
Yeah, DVD.
What did you think?
Well, obviously, like I haven't got the Blu-ray to compare it to, so I haven't like got that kind of. Obviously, it wasn't brilliant. It wasn't like I wasn't blown away by its magnificent like aesthetics, really. But I'll get into like what was it like on Blu-ray? Like,
well, there's two. It's quite famous on to be on high definition purely because there's two editions of it. There's the first run. And then there's a second run. So the second run, which I've got, came out when they released Predators on Blu-ray. So the re-release, the second run, is the Ultimate Edition. It comes with quite a lot of special features. Quite a good making of documentaries as well, actually. Like, they don't get a lot of the... It's basically... There's a retrospect of it a little bit, and then there's actual making of. So I watched it on the Ultimate Edition, and there are a few scenes where... Dave's watched it on Blu-ray. I think you've got the other edition that I have. So what did you think first? Because then I'll tell you what I thought.
I didn't watch the special features.
But what did you watch of the? What did you think of the film, though?
Oh, the film? Yeah, it was alright.
Did it look good?
I didn't think there was any difference.
Well, when Carl Weathers, Dylan, and Dutch first, obviously, but I don't know how to even.
It's like a sort of masculine contest.
Yeah, they come together where two become one.
Oh, yeah.
Seen this?
Whole handshake / arm wrestle /
yeah.
Hey, how you doing? Hey, I've got big muscles.
Both in the most tightest of shirts and polos.
Puss in Pencils, are we?
Yeah, the worst dialogue ever. But that scene, all their faces look like it's made out of clay. It looks really, really bad. But most of it, I mean, the lighting in it's really good. I mean, it's blown up on the TV, so it's not 16:9, it's not widescreen.
Okay. It's
blown up image, and it's stretched. So I read an interview with the director of Predator, which was, I think it was on a website a few years ago, and he said that what they do is they stretch the image so it could fit broadcasts. And 20th Century Fox, who the production company is, refused to have it done. So he agreed to that. So he put it in full screen rather than widescreen, but stretched the 20th Century Fox image. And on set, they had so many issues with the Predator. Like they couldn't get the blood to show up. So then they used a UV liquid out of a.
Oh, that's interesting.
Out of a light, and then put KY jelly in it. And there's loads of things in it where, I mean, Jean-Claude Van Damme was meant to play the Predator, walked off set. So there's loads of issues on set, but overall, I think that the film stands quite tall to this day. Even if there's some parts of it which are basically just feel like 80s,
it's pushing the boundaries, isn't it?
Yeah, it's 80s stigma of men with big muscles fighting something that can't be stopped. It's the ultimate sort of action film, but I mean, at the end of the day, if you as a whole, I think it does stand up quite well. The plot does. I don't think. The acting in parts is really, really difficult to sort of like not be able to laugh at. It's one of the films where you either after a few years in retrospect you either watch it because it's so bad it's good, or it's quite good and stands up today. I think it's the latter. I don't think it's laughable, and even if when it's meant to be,
there's definitely laughable moments.
But is that intentional? Do you think, or did you laugh at moments that weren't intentional?
I don't know if the handshakey kind of.
I definitely should be there.
I don't think
it's not a laughable moment.
I don't think it's intentional.
I was very much laughing.
Oh, now it is. It's so ridiculous now.
It's fucking hilarious.
I think when Jesse Ventura gets the minigun and he starts firing at the Predator, and then obviously his demise comes momentarily. Yeah.
And then they all join in afterwards. That's kind of it. Like,
that goes on for about a minute too long, and it's only on for a minute and 10 seconds.
Yeah.
I mean, Dave, what did you think of it when you watched it?
I mean, to what detail?
Well, did you enjoy it this time
around?
Oh,
I love Predator. I love Predator. I grew up on these type of films. I grew up on the Predator, the Commando, the Die Hard.
So do you like it because it's good, or do you like it because it's so silly that it's good?
This is one of the films that made me want to get into being a filmmaker.
But why? Because when I can't see, just no disrespect, I can't see anyone watching this and thinking, I want to make films, because I don't think this in any way is a filmmaker's.
I agree with what you're saying, actually, but
then again, like I said, Paul Thomas Anderson once said the comment of, he went to film school and they said, if you're here to write Terminator 2, walk out the door. And Terminator 2 is a fucking good film. Yeah. So I can understand that, but I can understand that this, to make films here, this is fun. That must have been so much fun to make. They must be, we're all together.
But apart from the bits where they're getting like threatened by the actors.
Yeah, I mean, when Dave says like he watched this to become a filmmaker, I can see it completely. Cause
I watched this when I was like 7 for the first time.
Too young.
I had a great childhood.
Was it scary for you? 7 years old. Like.
Oh mate, sometimes you just got to do things. You just got to boss it
But
through.
was it scary? Well, just be honest. You're 7 years old.
I mean, I do remember trying to fall asleep and hearing like the.
Yeah, there we go.
I don't think there's many scary. I think it could have been quite scary.
The Predator is quite scary.
I think it could have been a lot more scary.
Yeah, I definitely.
But it's definitely something that if you watched it when you're that young, that's gonna fuck.
I would like to see it re-edited as a horror film.
Yeah, that'd be interesting.
That would be really good.
I think it wouldn't work as well because, like, obviously it's more. I think it's more about like quest to masculinity rather than it is for a actual monster movie.
I mean, it's a Schwarzenegger formula, isn't it?
Yeah.
You get tight t-shirts, big muscles, big gun, and he screams a lot. I mean, that's a formula.
Yeah.
I mean,
what's interesting about that as well is there's even like competitiveness between the actors as well for that kind of thing. I heard a story between Arnold Schwarzenegger and Jesse Ventura where they're going into the gym every morning and like trying to they were being competitive in the fact like Jesse Ventura would go. There was a story about Jesse Ventura. He went to the gym. He'd get up at 4 a.m. in the morning and go to the gym to work out. But he'd go into the gym at 4 a.m. because he knew that Arnold Schwarzenegger would be getting up about 6. And he'd go in there for about 10 minutes, spray himself with water, and he'd come out and go, "Only just going in there, are you, Arnold?" And then Arnold would feel like, "Oh shit, this guy's getting bigger than me. I'd better kind of step up my game." And it's like this kind of competitiveness between the actors. I think that's really interesting, especially for the theme of the film, which it makes it feel a bit more genuine in the film because like they are literally these massive fucking hossy like alpha males trying to like prove their masculinity by beating this predator.
You see, I love that because what the story you just told there, I've read as well.
Yeah.
And I completely see it on screen.
Yeah, definitely.
I mean, it seeps through the pages. I mean,
the characters are just completely going for that kind of.
Yeah, I mean, Jesse Ventura used to go to the production designers for the costumes, and he would ask the size of the costumes or the arm length, and he would be 4 inches bigger.
Yeah.
Than Arnold Schwarzenegger, and then Jesse Ventura would make fun of Arnold Schwarzenegger. But behind closed doors, Arnold Schwarzenegger was the person to pretend to put Jesse Ventura's muscles up by 4 inches. Yeah. It was all this.
That's hilarious.
I think there's so much. It's not nasty either. It's very big camaraderie. I mean, in the film, the tension between all the characters and the camaraderie is excellent. They all look like they're friends. Yeah. But like he says at the beginning, we're not assassins. We're rescue missions.
Yeah.
I like that as well.
It's almost this kind of like community between them, like because if you look at the kind of culture behind bodybuilding and behind pro wrestling where Jesse Ventura's come from, there's very much like a kind of hazing kind of thing involved in it, like in the kind of like background of like those kind of different things, and trying to get yourself above everybody else and make yourself stand out as well. Like I think there's an individuality to them all, but at the same time they're all kind of aiming to try and get above each other, and I think that plays off well in the characters as well. Even a character who literally has like 2 lines in the film, which are both just like jokes about his wife's pussy being big.
Yeah, Shemblat. Yeah.
Yeah, like even him, he's trying to prove his masculinity, and even he's still quite muscly. But
well, I mean, like it does. There are aspects of it that are very different. I mean, it's a genuine stereotypical action film, yes. But they're not. This film could easily be them as assassins going in to kill this monster.
Yeah.
Which nowadays would probably be the go thing, but they're not. They're actually the rescuers.
Yeah.
They're going in to find these people who was Hopper or Hooper, which was Arnold Schwarzenegger's friend. But he obviously is revealed that he went on a mission with Dylan. Yeah. And they are they're not actually on an extraction mission. They are on an assassination mission to kill the guerrillas. The warrior guerrillas who were there by Russian influence. So there's quite a lot of big context to it. I mean, it's not in depth at all. We don't need to know. There's about halfway through it when the Predator's introduced, and that's it.
I think that's needed though, because I think the whole mystery behind the Predator, it makes it far more like tense throughout the film. It adds a bit more intrigue to it.
Okay.
Like, if you knew everything about the Predator, like literally the entire backstory to the Predator is they have like a little clip at the start of like a spaceship coming over.
Yeah, I mean we don't even know how long that's before the events of the film either.
Exactly. I like that vagueness to it. I think it's definitely something which just. It makes a bit more intrigue behind Predator, and I feel like you knew too much, then it'd be less scary because we're scared of what we don't know.
So where would you put this in Schwarzenegger's filmography? Then would you put it high up? Would you put it low up? Would you put it in the middle? Because he has made some stellar films.
I was saying earlier, this is my favourite personal Arnie film.
Personal, but how would you judge it on a?
Oh, his is probably
on a critical level.
Terminator is probably his favourite. On a critical level, his best film he's ever made.
Well, he's been taking part of.
What do you think do you think this is like a good this is his best film in terms of like going to see Arnie, or do you think it's the best, or what do you think Arnold Schwarzenegger's best role is? like as an
Best
actor.
role is definitely a Terminator, isn't it?
Yeah.
Terminator 2, yeah. I mean, would you see this without...
The Terminator.
You said Terminator. You said the first Terminator.
I'd say judging
all of the Terminators.
Okay,
that's his best character.
That's
his best character.
Yeah.
Well, that was the question.
I do like his characters. I think he's quite good in Total Recall. But I mean, the question is then, if you're a big fan of Schwarzenegger and Predator, what do you do? Do you take Schwarzenegger out of the film?
No, I think it's
ridiculous. Or do you take the Predator out?
What do you mean? Without the Predator?
Well, I mean, without Schwarzenegger, does it still stand up, or do you just keep the Predator and the story in it?
I think you take Predator out of that. It's a classic Arnie film like Commando.
Yeah,
I can see that.
But with the Predator in it, it makes it better.
Element. I mean, like Dave said, it's better. I mean, it always reminds me of Christopher Nolan's The Dark Knight. The Dark Knight is simply a detective heist film. Yeah. With Batman in it. It's a crime story, Batman in it.
It's one of those where you can kind of take the story and put it into a different setting and it would still be the same film.
So not only does Dave get his fix of Schwarzenegger, but you also get the 80s cheese.
Which I love.
Which obviously he loves.
I think Schwarzenegger's quintessential for that kind of genre as well. Like, I mean, if you think... This is the quintessential.
If you think this is Schwarzenegger's best film...
Personally.
Do you think it's the best film of the 80s, action-wise?
Action-wise? Probably not.
Is it better than Full Metal Jacket?
Probably
I'd
not.
say, this is just my personal opinion about this film. I think if you want to see a film which says everything you need to know about Arnold Schwarzenegger, this is the best one to go and see. But I don't think it's his best role. I don't think it's his best character. I think his best character is Terminator 2 and Terminator 1. Both, well, he plays Terminator both, doesn't he? So I think that's his best. As an actor, I think that's definitely his kind of best place in the Terminator films.
I mean, there's a lot of films out there that are convolute plots where you have to sit down for 2.5 hours and you have to listen. You can put this on for an hour and 47 minutes and you can just love it. There's nothing to it. There really isn't. And I like that. Because you can leave your brain at the door and you go in there, you can watch it. I mean, I would love to have seen this at cinemas. Because I would have loved to have seen this on release.
To that.
So, as we were saying, if I was to say to you, imagine if I had no intention of film knowledge whatsoever, and I said to you, I want to watch an Arnold Schwarzenegger film, what would you recommend? You would automatically pick Predator.
Yeah, I'd pick Predator, because if you watch Terminator 2 and Terminator 1, it's not something you can take it more seriously than you can Predator. You don't look at it and think, oh, Arnold Schwarzenegger, he's brilliant in that, because he is brilliant in that. But it's not something you go like, oh, that's something which Arnold Schwarzenegger is being Arnold Schwarzenegger. With Predator, he's got everything about him in this role is just says everything about him as a person. He's just completely ridiculous, completely like homoeroticized and complete cheese. And I think it's just brilliant. Like, what do you think, Dave?
Yeah, I agree with you. I'd say if someone came up to me with no film knowledge and was like, hey, I want to watch an Arnold Schwarzenegger film, but there's so many of them, which one would you say? I'd say it's either got to be this one or Commando. Yeah. Because Commando summarises his like sort of the one-liners in that, the sort of, where he goes like, cool laugh, and like, in this as well, like, it's just so good. You'd go and watch that, because what I feel like with Terminator is he's not playing his Arnold Schwarzenegger character, he's playing a robot, isn't he? And he does that quite well. He's quite like...
It suits him.
It's like Keanu Reeves with Neo. Yeah. It's made for the actor.
Oh, well, that's another podcast, because I think I disagree with that.
But... I wouldn't say anything about Matrix in front of me.
Well, I know
you want to leave this house in peace. I mean, it's interesting that you both bring up films that are not reliable as him as an actor. I mean, I can understand why you wouldn't pick Terminator 2, because I think Arnold Schwarzenegger in that is a part of a cog that goes around. You've got Linda Hamilton, you've got James Cameron, and you've got the special effects, and a bit of Edward Furlong. Edward Furlong's quite good in that film as well. And together to make the cog go around and make an actual good film. I think these two films you both mentioned now is not necessarily Schwarzenegger the actor. It's Schwarzenegger, the whole persona of camp, comedy, one-liners.
I guess you could almost argue, this is a very controversial thing to say, you could almost argue that's the same thing as he is in Batman and Robin. As the actors, like...
Yeah, exactly. So why wouldn't you pick Batman and Robin then? Why would you pick...
He's not a main character in that, is he? He's just kind of
he's this kind of side feature.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah, so I think they only put Arnie in that to sell tickets.
But I think you two are both making a case for his persona.
What I'm saying though,
I mean, he's not a good actor. I mean, don't get me wrong. I don't think he's amazing, but for what he does. I mean, you can't deny the fact that he was huge at one point. I mean, they all invested in a fucking chain. Excuse me for my French, chain of restaurants.
What, Planet Hollywood?
Yeah, they were huge. These three people.
I've eaten at Planet Hollywood, by the way. It's terrible.
Really?
Yeah, they don't own it anymore. They don't have any shares in it.
No, I went in like 2003.
Yeah, they haven't owned it for years.
Oh, really? It was terrible.
Either way, I think Predator. He is the Predator Commando. Without him in it, I don't think I'd care about the film.
Well, as much as I like Commando, I mean, Commando is the first film I ever watched. First F word I ever said, which my dad's listening, I'm sorry. And if Francesca's listening, it was her fault. I would have picked Total Recall.
Really?
Because that film it's everything that this film has, with a bit more comedy, a bit more of a nicer plot. I mean, it's well-rounded, it's more open. And the special effects, Paul Verhoeven as well, which is an incredibly good director. You know, like some RoboCop, which I think we will do on another podcast, definitely.
Yeah.
Not the new one.
No, not the Joe Kinnaman version. I mean,
God, no.
I mean, definitely. Peter. Oh, I don't know his last name.
Oh,
he was in Star Trek Into Darkness, though.
I haven't watched Star Trek.
Oh wow. Anyway, getting back to the point. So, Predator. I mean, in the 80s, I think it lodges itself well there. Is it the pick of the bunch? I think it's decisive. I don't think you can. I'm very indifferent towards the fact that it's the best 80s film.
I didn't say it's the best 80s film.
Of its calibre.
Oh, right, okay. From the
of its calibre. I mean, it's not the best 80s film.
It's not the best 80s action
to be
film.
fair,
I think Die Hard's... I think I prefer Die Hard.
Die Hard is definitely.
It's ironic because both films you've just said there, Predator and that, and obviously I've said Total Recall, are towards the 90s. No one really picked a middle 80s or early 80s film.
You two picked early 80s, didn't you? 82.
Yeah, and we didn't get picked.
Exactly. # Dave wins.
Well,
I mean,
I think going back to this,
it's just an interesting point.
We will get that trending. The Dave fans out.
I mean, it's just an interesting point as maybe that cinema in the 80s cinema sort of developed to a higher standard in the 90s, and then the action films.
So you're saying like the 80s was like kind of the 70s,
well, the
80s kind of developed in the 90s.
Well, the 80s internationally was difficult years for everybody. I mean, especially in the United Kingdom, the AIDS epidemic, and
there's all sorts going on.
I mean, it's very interesting to say that
the fallout of the Cold War as well.
Yeah, I mean, Rocky IV. I mean, you've got quite a few big films in the 80s.
Quite a few big films, and like you were saying earlier, Predator didn't do necessarily that well. Yeah, it's still it's iconic today. It's kind of odd, isn't it? Really.
I just don't think if Schwarzenegger was in it that it would be is what it is today. I think Schwarzenegger holds this film.
He connects the links, really.
But then a film should never be a star should never be as big as his film.
I agree with that as well. I think that's a big reason why
Arnie is
completely sure on a film.
Arnie is one of those guys who comes to a film and he makes that film.
The thing
you
is,
take Arnie out of Total Recall.
Oh, I disagree. I think Total Recall still stands up.
Total Recall, yeah. Well, what about the Colin Firth one? Not Firth. Colin Farrell.
Well, I'd like to bring this up. I've actually got that on Blu-ray.
Oh, of course you do.
What haven't you got on Blu-ray?
I have the extended version of it. Regarding the remake of Total Recall, I know we're a little bit off point now, but we'll bring it back. Don't worry. I mean, I think I like Colin Farrell as an actor. I don't think necessarily he's a action star. I mean, when Commando was about to be remade in the early 2010s, they tried to get Sam Worthington, who was in Terminator Salvation, as he was going to be. They're trying to build him up to be the next big Arnie star, and unfortunately, it doesn't work like that. I mean, Taylor Kitsch and John Carter is another example. Yeah. Channing Tatum, to some degree, had problems with that. And
I think he's brought it back now.
Chris Pratt is another one who's gone past that now, who's done quite well for himself. So, I mean, Len Wiseman's the reason why I don't really like the remake of Total Recall, but on Blu-ray, it's an extraordinary piece of filmmaking, like visual effects, the plot's very different. But going back onto Predator, I mean, if you had to remake this today, I mean, go ahead. I mean, who do you act? I mean, I'm going to say the big question.
That's the thing.
Who do you recast?
I think, personally, if you look at the two ones you compare a lot of the time, well, you would compare around like these kind of films, Predator, Alien, because obviously Alien is Predator. Like, you don't look at Alien and think...
In my mind, I don't really necessarily count them in the whole saga. I don't.
Yeah, fair enough. Either way, though. But I'm just doing this for like the comparison's sake.
Okay.
You look at Predator, you take Arnold Schwarzenegger out of it. Do you watch it?
I'd watch it. I don't think it would be as good. But then again, it's a completely different film, isn't it?
But then Alien, you take out what's her face.
So Alien, the whole point of Alien Predator, it's weird because if you put, like you said, you put them together. You take Sigourney Weaver out of Alien, you still have Alien.
Still
if you take Schwarzenegger out of Predator,
I think he makes the film.
I think he makes the film, yeah.
You said that you were going to remake it now, but it wouldn't be the same film if you remade it.
No, but
now.
I mean, who would you recast? That's what I meant.
What you're saying, if you remade it,
Right, so
frame by frame that, but just with a different actor? Or you're talking about remaking it now?
Let's talk about... Well, Shane Black is now in current development of making a sequel soft reboot, as what J.J. Abrams did with Star Trek. They're trying to reboot the franchise. If you had to make this film again, who would you cast as Schwarzenegger? That's my question. And it's not easy. It's not an easy question.
The Rock.
Honestly.
Now, I'm going to be controversial here. I wouldn't be surprised if it actually went that way.
Yeah, honestly, I think when you're looking at massive fucking muscle heads now, other than The Rock, who else there?
But you could argue the point now. You could, as we were talking before, does Schwarzenegger make the film? Which we've all come to the conclusion he does.
I think The Rock's too lovable as a character. I don't think he's badass enough. I think he's too much of like a kind of Joker.
Okay.
I think that's from the roles you've seen him in, though.
Well, I mean, Schwarzenegger did do Twins, and he did do...
Twins, great film.
And then he did the other...
Kindergarten Cop.
Yeah.
Jingle All the Way.
The late 90s, he did another one.
Either way, though, it's still like one of those roles. I understand what you mean, but I think...
Triplets, he did Twins, and he did another one with Danny DeVito.
I think a big thing
No,
about
wait, he becomes pregnant.
Yeah, that is Twins. Oh, no. No, oh yeah, where he becomes pregnant. What's it called?
Junior,
that's
either way,
yeah.
big thing about Schwarzenegger
Blacked out.
is his accent.
Yeah, go on, sorry, Rob.
Big thing about Schwarzenegger is his accent, isn't it? That's the big thing that makes him. It's the big thing that makes him.
I think it makes the accent makes this film very quotable, like you were saying earlier.
If you take the accent away from Schwarzenegger, you have The Rock. Really,
I disagree with that. You're only saying that because they're big muscle heads.
I really like Schwarzenegger, but I find it very difficult to argue against Rob.
What, with The Rock?
I do think that's right.
I think, no, you cast The Rock in this, it makes it more of like a sort of comedy.
I mean, then the question begs, your decision then, who would you cast?
Who would I cast? Yeah, but the person I've got in my mind is that you're not remaking it to the same elements that it is.
No,
you're not using all that masculinity.
I think we've got to restrict ourselves to the same audience, the same premise, the same film, but we're recasting it in 2016.
I said The Rock.
John Boyega.
John Boyega.
Oh no.
John Boyega might have played Shane Black's role quite well. Or he might have played the other guy's role who was
mates with
Shane Black. But I don't think you can cast John Boyega as Schwarzenegger.
I think you can.
I think
that's such a big statement. I'm sorry, but that's
I was saying
that's
the
biggest statement you'll hear.
I was saying The Rock because I
ridiculous.
think that's what the producers would do. I wouldn't. But the only reason I'm saying that is because I think the producers of that would be completely moronic.
What about Vin Diesel?
I think Vin Diesel's a good
God, fuck me.
I think it's a good
No,
shout.
I'm not saying I would do it. I'm just saying think of the people. I'm truthfully. I think Vin Diesel would be casting it.
When you're making a Predator remake,
Jesus
you're making
Christ.
it for the Schwarzenegger audience. So I think you need somebody who's like Schwarzenegger, but there's nobody like Schwarzenegger. He's so unique. That's what's so great.
You've
about
only
him.
got 6 degrees of him now, which is The Rock and Vin Diesel. I mean, I can't name any more.
What if they did it again? With the new
Jason
Terminator,
Statham. What do you do?
No, fucking hell.
I mean, I'm not saying you cast him.
Oh my God.
I'm just saying like Rob
this is
saying,
coming out to be the
With the
worst reboot of ever.
Yeah, but
With Ben Diesel.
John
Ben
Boyega.
Diesel.
John Boyega is like the smallest person.
Let's bring it
you
back.
could cast in that.
Yeah, but
film,
what I'm
so.
saying is, are we doing? If you're saying with the same themes of the masculinity,
The same stature
the
we're on
the
about.
same stature, well, maybe not.
Let's bring it back.
John Boyega.
It's people. If you're remaking Predator, you're remaking it for the fans of Schwarzenegger. Like with the most recent Terminator, they brought Schwarzenegger back in like CGI. Why don't we just bring fucking Schwarzenegger?
What
back?
you're saying is though that
In current
Schwarzenegger
days-
is better than the Predator. You're saying that the premise and the plot isn't good. You're saying the
Rob wouldn't watch the film if Schwarzenegger wasn't in it.
Well, I had to watch it anyway, but
I mean,
Yeah.
I've got to come. It's just a monster movie at the end of the day without Schwarzenegger. Schwarzenegger adds that sort of buzz to it. I mean, look, Predator might be the title of the film, but Schwarzenegger's name isn't so far off it. Do you know what I mean? It's not. I mean,
you can't separate Schwarzenegger.
no,
That's
I
ridiculous.
agree. I think
I don't think he could remake it.
I think you can remake it, but you've got to
You've got to separate it as far away from Schwarzenegger.
Have you
as possible.
seen the Nimrod Antal soft reboot sequel Predators?
No.
I mean, they cast Adrian Brody as the main character purely because they wanted that.
All I know
guy.
about them is that they were really badly received and everybody hated them.
Well, I mean, I'm not about Predators are not too bad of an actual film. I mean, it's a bit Robert Rodriguez.
I mean, the sequels and stuff like that.
I mean, Predator 2 we want to talk about. That is a piece of shit. But I mean, Adrian Brody's quite big in it. I mean, he's got big muscles. He's.
I mean, is that all you're going for the recast? Just big muscles?
No, you need someone. You can't have Christian Bale's Rescue Dawn character against them, because you don't show any threat to the Predator.
Okay.
It's all about the hunt.
All right, okay, I've got a new guy.
It's the biggest against the biggest.
I've got a new guy. Tom Hardy.
Yeah, I can see that.
I can see Tom Hardy, actually.
Yeah. In fact, I would pay to watch that.
Yeah, so would I. That's what I was just thinking.
But I don't think Tom Hardy would take the role.
Well, I think he would do.
Depends how big the paycheck, doesn't it?
Well, I don't think he's all about the paycheck.
Well,
yeah, I disagree.
Well, Legend, I guess. Legend,
Legend is such a good movie. You cannot take that away from him.
What I thought about Legend was...
As an actor, he's good. He's he's brilliant in that.
Yeah, I didn't like the film overall, but Tom Hardy was amazing. He made the film.
I mean, he's really good in Rock and Roll, and I don't particularly like Guy Ritchie's Rock and Roll. We'll get that. Guy Ritchie's a whole other podcast.
I love Guy Ritchie.
So we'll talk about the positives then. We'll start with Dave, because Dave's pick. What do you think? What's the most positives you can take from it?
I think as a film, it is brilliant. I disagree with all of you saying that Arnie makes this film. It's not just Arnie.
We could talk for hours, and I'm going to go on the record. I disagree with you completely about that comment.
Me
Schwarzenegger
too.
makes that film.
He does not.
Hence why it's above. And it's massive fucking letters.
Yeah.
There's
but
no
Predator's
other
bigger.
actor's name.
Oh god. What?
Predator in your background, right in the cover.
The Predator is bigger. The Predator is bigger on the cover, and you're saying that, and the Predator is bigger on the title as well.
Yeah,
you're
but
saying
Schwarzenegger's out there, like casting onto him.
God.
Right, we'll post an image on our Twitter of this front cover.
Yeah,
and we'll let the audience decide, because Schwarzenegger's got a light cast onto him. His muscles bare and with a fucking machine gun. He is the center. He is the center of that cover. The Predator is not.
I mean, I'm sorry, but that is literally Commando with an alien in it. I mean, it is
Exactly.
So it's Schwarzenegger's film.
No, but what I'm saying is, it's not just Schwarzenegger that makes this film.
We'll talk about
it's the music.
That's fine.
Talk about your positives.
I'm trying to, but you guys keep ripping into my opinions.
Dave, let's talk about the characters then. What do you find? What do you like about it? What do you not like about it?
What do you mean? What?
Well, there's only 10 characters in the
film.
film.
It's not maybe
I
much
like
you
the
can talk
characters.
about.
They're all trying to put themselves above each other, in their kind of not homoeroticism, but in a homoerotic way. They're all like these fucking macho beast alpha males trying to like kill this beast, aren't they? And that's all the characters in their different veins. Like they have the kind of insecure kind of, oh my wife's got a huge pussy joke guy, and then you've got like, I ain't got no time to bleed. They're all these kind of characters who've...
It's amazing. I love it.
They're all just super macho, all of them in their own different breeds, but it's competitive. It's that's what it is. They're all being competitive together to try and kill this predator.
Well, I mean, Dave, it's your choice. I mean, your character. What do you think? The characters in the film. I mean, surely you've got to have your opinion on it.
What do you mean with the characters? What, like the actors that played them, or just the characters?
Not to reiterate, but it's very, 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 very few characters in this film.
Yeah.
I mean, it's not overly like. There's not much plot to it, and I mean, it's good for it. It's very slimlined of a film.
Well, what didn't you like about the characters?
I have a problem with the only reason I like about it. It comes back to I don't want to start World War III, but I think that it comes back to the Schwarzenegger or the Predator aspect of it. It's their film. I mean, if it's Schwarzenegger's film, the Predator's in it. We all know to some degree that they're not all going to live through it. I think we all know that.
It's one of those films.
We all knew that. Yeah.
I mean, it's picked off slowly and
it's cool.
slowly.
It's called
and
fucking Predator, for fuck's sake. If no one dies, what's the point in calling it?
Again, it's all about the hunt. I mean, Shane Black's character, he was going to go in the first 20 minutes if he was going to last longer. It was just a matter of time.
Yeah.
I mean, I think that the way it could have been done like this. They could have been killed off screen, all of them, and a few of them are. But when we get to see Jesse Ventura chest torn through.
That took me by surprise. I thought he'd last longer. The way he presented himself as a character.
Well, Bill Duke's character, where the camera's behind him, and his head is literally caved through. I mean, it's torn off by the Predator's laser. I mean, the gun. It's gone straight through, and the blood goes in the camera. I mean, it doesn't shy away from the fact what the Predator can do. I just think that it's a picking off game at the end of the day.
This is maybe a controversial statement. I wonder if you agree. If you know Jesse Ventura's mate.
Bill Duke, yeah.
If he died first, and then you see Jesse Ventura's character throughout the entire film, he's acting really tough. If he completely broke down at that point, his mates died. I think that would have really reiterated the Predator as like a very...
no, I like that. I like that. I think that's true.
Because I mean, the way you never got anything about the character of Jesse Ventura's mate, did you? Like, it's all about Jesse Ventura being a hard ass.
I mean, we do get that to some degree with Bill Duke going a little bit wayward towards the end. I mean, the way he goes... I mean, The way that Carl Weathers goes down is quite. It's like when the gun falls down with his arm in. It's like, wow, this Predator's quite good.
Oh,
and then he goes like that with the gun, and then obviously he's basically decapitated. And
I would have thought that at the end it would have been Carl Weathers and Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Really?
That's the way that they.
I would.
Surely that was
that's
the sort of thing that you could have saw. Them sort of having the sort of masculinity test of them who's going to survive, who's not going to.
After that scene where they're like hands.
Exactly. Like I just feel like they introduced him as like a big character, but they picked him off quite early.
Yeah, they did that a lot.
Well, look at Sonny Lundheim. Like he's just gone, goes on a bridge. We don't see his death. I mean, if anyone out of all three of them, when he says "I'm scared," he to me is the toughest one out of all of them.
Yeah,
not the persona of the character. Not
boys. Distance.
I mean, Bill. We'll talk about Billy, the character, not the actor, because it's the actor's something else.
Yeah.
So the character Billy, played by Sonny Lundheim, obviously, all the way through it, he's the biggest. You know, he's the Native American. He can track them. You know, I'm scared, and I'm like, if he's scared, we're in for some deep shit here.
Yeah.
And the way that he dies on the bridge, I don't necessarily like that. And we don't see it as well.
It's a bit anticlimactic, isn't it? It's like he kind of builds up this massive thing, cutting across his chest.
Yeah, to show that he's not frightened. And then we hear the scream.
Then you hear a scream. It's like, well, okay then, mate. All right.
All the way through it, when they said, the Predator didn't kill the Latina woman. I forget her name.
She's the only one who survived, didn't she?
Well, I mean, in every single film, every Latina character who's played by a female survives.
She was only in the film to say, "Oh, there's something happening here." That's it.
Really?
She was all exposition. She was all exposition.
I think she was. I think she's definitely to show that the Predator is there for the hunt. I mean, she's quite expositional about who he is, but I mean, we already get that by the spaceship.
Her entire lines are, "Oh, I'm not going to say anything. I'm not going to say anything." And then Arnold Schwarzenegger grabs her and she goes, "Okay, I'll tell you something. I'm sorry." And then it's like that's literally all she did in the entire film, and then she survives, and we're meant to like, oh yeah, she survived. Everything else died.
I mean, for the last third act, it is Schwarzenegger and the Predator, and I quite like that because then we get down to business.
Yeah, it's fight or flight, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, it's at the end, it's man versus
beast.
Yeah, I mean, whatever's next. I mean, I'm moving on to
the real Predator here.
I mean, moving on to your positives of the whole film. Then, what did you really enjoy about the film?
I thought the campness. I just loved that. I thought it was very, very like I like laughing at it.
You mean you're laughing at it then by
not because it's bad, but because it's so ridiculous. Like, and it might not be intentional that it's so ridiculous, but that's what I took from it. That's what
I don't necessarily thought anything was funny in it. I think you can tell when it's aged.
I wouldn't say that. I didn't laugh much at it.
I didn't laugh much at it.
I might have laughed at the odd sort of like shot or like.
Maybe it's because I'm not looking at it with nostalgia. I'm not saying you're looking at it with like a pre-release.
Yeah, because you watched it for the first time, actually. Yeah, I didn't think about that.
So maybe it's because I'm looking at it with
when was the first time you watched it, Joe?
Oh, God, I watched this quite early.
I'm sure it wasn't like 7 years old like I was.
I was around at the time. I'd have been very young.
This is the sort of films I grew up on.
I grew up on Arnold Schwarzenegger, definitely.
Yeah.
But then again, I think that like I've always taken this film as what it is. I mean, I don't necessarily laugh at films like this because I see them very on like what the director's trying to intend to do.
I guess I'm different for that because I don't necessarily like look at it.
I mean, another positive I like. I love the fact that Schwarzenegger at the end, it's hand to hand. We all go back to the Stone Age where there's traps. Schwarzenegger fights him with no ability gun wise.
It goes back to primal instincts.
Yeah, I love the fact that happens because it becomes a war of intellects then. And I mean, does Schwarzenegger really?
It's not just shooting guns at it and hoping, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, is the Predator that stupid to make that big mistake? I think he is a little bit. I think I think Schwarzenegger should have gone down with him, and
he does die at the end, doesn't he?
No.
Well, there's a massive fucking nuclear explosion.
Yeah, but he goes in the chopper.
Is he getting in the chopper?
Yeah, he's in the back of it. Yeah, and his eyes are out because he's just realised.
Okay, because me and Dave were talking earlier, and we didn't know whether he died or not.
No, he doesn't die.
Yeah, we don't
because
know.
He's
interesting.
Gary Busey in the sequel.
Well, Gary Busey's is in it. Jesus.
Yeah, well, Danny Glover's in it as well.
Okay.
I mean, I do really like the ending. I think that it's man. It's just man. We don't need this big gun, and I think
strips it down to basics. Doesn't it?
And I think it does really because we have got a lot of in our throats about, like you said about earlier, about when they're firing in the distance and one of them catches it. I mean, it's like
it makes you kind of shout at the screen a bit, like you know what I mean.
Yeah, I mean it's more I mean it's very more impactful as well when he looks at him and the monologue of Schwarzenegger is now immortalized is do it
Come on, do it, kill me.
I mean that is so
so good. I love it.
I mean you just watch it like God, what are you just gonna do? What is happening here? But I think it does work. It's very 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 on the cusp of just
one
being
of those few
laughable now.
One-liners.
It's very on the cusp of being considered to be like
only
Jesus Christ.
Only because of like the kind of cultural relevance of it.
Okay, no,
it's
I
only
agree.
because it is Arnie.
Yeah.
No. If it was someone else doing it, saying, come on.
If in Die Hard, if John McClane was talking to Hans Gruber about when he's got the gun behind his back and Holly's wife is on the edge of the thing, and John McClane was like, do it. I would still have the same opinion of it being like, this is going on too long. But it does work in the context of Predator, I will give you that.
Thank you.
If you saw this for the first time without any knowledge of that quote whatsoever, would you have laughed?
No.
No, I didn't laugh.
I still don't laugh. I'm just saying it's on the cusp of being like,
laughable.
Like this is I don't mean laughable like, ha ha, laughing at. I mean inside like, well, this is a little bit tedious now.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, there's quite a lot of tedious moments in it.
Definitely.
I mean,
like the gun scene we were talking about earlier, when they're shooting into the.
I mean, what I like is that it's not. I mean, I'm not contradicting myself, but me and Rob argued that it's Schwarzenegger's film over the Predator film, and in the film there isn't many Schwarzenegger moments. I mean, there's stick around, and then there's knock.
Interesting.
Get to the chopper, kill me now.
No, yeah, but there's
get to the chopper's like one of those.
Yeah, but that's That's like you said. That's your comment about popular culture taking that as its own.
Yeah, okay, yeah, fair
I mean, stick around. He's always used shit like that.
Knock.
Yeah, like shit like that. But the other comments, they're based off this film and onwards. So I don't know if I like that or not, because you do want, when you watch a film, you do want some Arnie. You want the comments. I mean, that's what we for a long time while he's been governor, we've missed that sort of like understanding. Like he understands. Like Roger Moore understood that he used to play Bond as a joke in our journalism class. What Ryan Gilbert said the other day. Yeah, Roger Moore played James Bond as a joke. I mean, Arnold Schwarzenegger plays characters. I don't think he goes in there thinking he's a Academy Award-winning actor. Yeah, he didn't take himself seriously. He's very self-aware.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the fact that it does stop a few Arnold Schwarzenegger quips in there. I do like that, but I do like it that it has its own integrity with Get to the Chopper. Do it, come on, do it.
Even Get to the Chopper, though, in the actual context of the film, it's not like... it doesn't jump out, he's like,
oh yeah,
that quote,
laughable.
It's part of another sentence completely. It's not even like the actual proper quote, really, is it? Like, it's very like out of place in the way you'd think it would be if you'd only heard that quote before without actually seeing the film.
Well, I think that brings it on very nicely to the negatives then.
Surely everything you've said so far has been.
Yeah, negative. I mean, we've had quite a lot of negatives, but
yeah. I mean, I try and discuss the positives, and I get brutalised.
Well, what's your overall negative? What's the one thing that really annoyed you in the film? Or that you didn't like? I mean, there's got to be one for you, Dave.
Oh, I don't know about that.
I don't think there's.
So this in your eyes is a perfect film.
Oh God, no! But like, I think for the time it came out, for the 80s sort of thing, it was a perfectly good film. When you look at it now, and you've got films that we're looking at more in other weeks, that this film doesn't stand up against them. Like when you look at Blade Runner and The Shining, it doesn't stand up against those. Very different types of movies.
Yeah.
What I will say about it, it's a great film. It's really good, but the thing that jumps out to me about it the most is that it's just not a classic, is it? It's not. Well, it's a classic.
I would disagree.
It's a
classic
as well. But it's not like it's not a classic because it's brilliant. It's a classic because of the quotability of it.
I don't.
I disagree.
No, I disagree. I think if you've watched it before the first time, you would come back and you would say something different. The fact that you watched it for the first time,
you wouldn't watch it again.
Really?
Seriously.
This has got so much replay. I'm sorry, I might have slated it, but I do really like it. I mean, let's make this clear. I've seen this about 10, 13 times.
I've seen it about.
I wouldn't like.
Like I said, I would have loved to have seen that at the cinema.
If I
stands out.
Listed the top 100 films I've ever seen, wouldn't be in the top 250.
Wow. I've seen some shit.
I've seen about. I mean, I'm just doing my IMDb thing now, and I'm on about 1,200 films, and I've still got loads to do.
Yeah.
Would it make my top 250? There's a lot of films there. I wouldn't be able to make an answer of that.
Yeah.
But saying you wouldn't watch it again is very surprising. But then again, would you watch it if you watched it again, which you may not? Would you watch it because of its quotability? or because you would purely want to watch it again?
I think I'd probably might watch scenes from it again, like with the quotes in it. But I don't think I'd watch it again thinking, "Oh yeah, this is like this film's about masculinity and these macho men trying to like prove themselves against each other."
I can't see you liking Commando.
Have you not seen Commando?
I haven't seen Commando.
You like Die Hard though.
I really like Die Hard.
Die Hard.
It's essentially the same thing.
Well,
it is. It's essentially the same thing.
Pretty much, yeah. Instead of Hans Gruber, it's an alien.
Personal taste, I guess. I don't know. Like I haven't seen Die Hard since I was mid-teens, probably. So, but I do remember really liking it.
Well, I think you're looking at that as a critical view of it.
I mean, I know what you mean, but I'm not like a big action guy.
Dave watched it at 7. I watched it around that age.
I wasn't brought up on action films.
I think if you'd have watched it then, I think you would have a very different opinion of it.
As a kid, I guess. So were you like an Action Man kid, or were you a Pokemon kid?
I was an Action Man kid. Oh god, Schwarzenegger every day.
So there we go. I'm a Pokemon kid.
Yeah, I can understand
that's probably why it is. I was always someone who's more about I'm not digging your fucking childhoods here. I was more like if I was born today, I'd be a Minecraft kid over watching like I don't know like some action films or something. Like I'd be. Instead of playing Uncharted, I'd be playing Minecraft on the PlayStation.
I mean, one of my favourite memories, and Dave Minette here on my left will probably have the same one as me. I remember going to a HMV store in the middle of Manchester when I was really young. And obviously, I'd grown up on Schwarzenegger, and I knew Terminator Judgment Day as one of my favourite films of all time. Yeah. I remember going there, my dad showing me a video of the Terminator. Yeah. And I couldn't understand what that was because I thought Judgment Day was the one and only film. And he showed me, this is the first film. I remember the excitement going home that day, knowing full well that I'd found something which came, and I never knew about it. It's Schwarzenegger.
Oh, that's cool.
And when I went home and I watched the Terminator first time, I couldn't believe that came before it. I couldn't believe that was Schwarzenegger because all in my mind, all I knew about Terminator was Terminator 2, and that was it for me.
Yeah. I saw Terminator 2 first as well.
I mean, that experience of that was just like, that's how big I love that franchise. Yeah. So watching if I watch Predator now, I could understand where your viewpoint comes from because it is but I think you look at it as a critical analysis.
I guess I look at it now comparing it to current action films. Yeah. If I compared that to Mad Max.
Well, then this is my other question. Yeah. Does it stand up today with the new breed of action films?
Not really.
No. I would say it does.
I would say no.
I think
we haven't had that film in ages.
The premise of the villain definitely does. The premise of it, but I think it need to be done differently if it was done at the current time.
I think you could. The thing about Predator is that you could place that anywhere. You could place that in the desert. You could place that like it does.
So long as you have the tagline Predator.
But
I think that works.
I mean, this film came out as a joke. Do you understand that? Like,
really?
When Rocky IV came out in 1984 or 1985, all the critics said, "What will Rocky fight next? E.T." And Joe Silver went to the producers of Warner Brothers and 20th Century Fox and Universal and said, "Why don't we just do that? Why don't we make a big action star fighting something that he's never fought before?" Because Commando, you're fighting an army. Die Hard, you're fighting another villain. So, I mean, does it stand up today? Like you said, Mad Max, very strong villains. But there's
a lot more world building involved in that. I think this has got a lot more vagueness.
But I like that it's set in the jungle. I don't think you can set it anywhere. It works.
You just said that you could put it in the desert.
I said you could do. But it works
I think
in
when
the
you
jungle.
said that, it 100% needs to be in the jungle.
Oh,
it has
yeah.
to be.
I think it does.
I mean,
with a Predator.
It comes together as well. I mean, it's one of them films where it's in the best time it could come out, with the best actor that it could possibly get at that time.
That cast is unbelievable.
And then the director, and then the plot. I mean, the practical effects in it by Stan Winston as well.
If it was released now, a different cast. Well, the cast of that equivalent.
Well, it is released now, isn't it? There's loads of films like that now.
No, I'm saying if you released a film like that now,
it'd be forgotten in a week. Yeah.
The Rock. Is Arnie because he's the equivalent. I'm saying he's the mainstream equivalent of him now.
Arnie, directed by Michael Bay, and we'll get the Predator to explode at the end.
You know, as Dave says that in satire,
you're taking a piss
that
out
would
of me.
probably be the way it went forward.
That's how it would go.
God.
I hate film. That's my point. Honestly, you're taking a piss out of me. That's my point.
Yeah, I mean, we are so lucky to have this as Predators when it came out now. I mean, we'll look at his Predator. Have you not seen Predators? But if you look at Predators Next Door, I mean, they're very similar films, but they're worlds apart. I mean, this is Stan Winston. I mean, it's Stan Winston did the practical effects the same as the Terminators and Terminator 1 and 2. I mean, it's a very strange film to place because I think that in 1987 it works. and I think to some degree it works now. But cinema and audience have moved on so much.
I don't think it would work in the 90s.
I think it could. I don't think it would work in the 2000s.
Not in the late 90s.
It would definitely.
I mean,
work in the
Last
90s.
Action Hero. I mean, that was
everyone
hated that film.
It wasn't. Yeah,
but I mean, it's you're thinking out the box. I think it does work, but I mean, I can think of loads of films now that the shit on Netflix.
Yeah, the shit
tries to imitate this film.
Exactly.
You can't do it. I mean, like we said before, you tried to recast it. You can't do it.
No. We've tried, as you can see.
Bloody
closest we got was
Rock.
And I think Tom Hardy. I think he, as good as he is, I don't think he's Arnie.
I could see him playing that role.
I could see him playing the role, but I think it'd be a different film. Because if you look at Arnie, right? You look at Arnie. He doesn't take himself too seriously. But Tom Hardy's an actor. We know he can act.
I mean, if you can get Christian Bale to play John Connor in Terminator Salvation, you can get Tom Hardy to play
Tom Connor.
Yeah, I'm not saying he wouldn't. I'm saying he maybe couldn't. Because he's not that kind of actor.
Tom, if you're listening to this, hit me up. We'll remake it. Me and you.
Yeah, I think you'd like to be.
Give me an email.
It's Mr. Hardy.
Mr. Hardy, if you're listening, contact me. Moviebusters at the Moviebusters.
Yeah. That's actually our email, but we'll skip it.
Yeah, no, but you can tweet me and then.
Okay, yeah. Demon at 1. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Well, no, don't. Come on.
Yeah, I mean, there's quite a lot to say about it, but at the end of the day, I mean, I enjoy Predator. Would I have enjoyed Predator now, not being grown up on it? Probably not. I think you've got to be in them. I think you've got to grow up.
That's the reason the world doesn't like it.
I was brought up on my dad's favourite films. He brought me up on Harold and Maude, like I suggested before.
Yeah, it's a different world, isn't it?
Yeah, it's completely different. He brought me up on dramas and coming of age stories and all that kind of stuff.
So have you seen anything around this film? Then have you seen the Alien vs Predator franchise?
I've seen Alien vs Predator. I've seen Aliens. I've seen all the Alien films. Yeah,
but you've never seen anything with Predator then?
No, this is the first.
And you wouldn't go watch it again?
No.
On the basis of watching it for enjoyment?
I would. After watching that, I think, okay, that's all right. Wouldn't watch it again. Wouldn't watch anything else to do with it.
I mean, not to carry on with the conversation, but I do find that really fascinating.
Yeah, I mean,
would you? If someone, like we said earlier, you definitely would suggest it to a friend, though.
If someone asked me, suggest me a Schwarzenegger film, I'd say it sums up Arnold Schwarzenegger as a person, as an actor, as a character, like his quintessential character he'd play. I'd say Predator. I would say Predator. I'm not saying that because it's one of my favourite films or anything like that. I'm saying it because
I'd still say
it sums him up as a person.
I'd still probably say the T-800, but as the Terminator.
No,
I mean, rounding up now.
It's the best role.
I mean, we should do overall thoughts. I mean, Dave, do you want to? I mean, it's
my pick. Loved it. 100% loved it.
Yeah. I mean, I mean, not to go back on it, but I can't understand how you can't pick any faults with it. I think you're very narrow-minded.
Thank you.
With that.
Because I think,
I do, but you've got to admit there are a few things in that film where it's like, oh.
What's your least favourite thing about this film?
And there is
strong.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but there's another thing I don't like about it. Dave mentions he loves the music to it. When I watched it the other day, and I've seen this a few times, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna watch it the first time. I'm gonna watch it with a critical mind view of it. I thought the music was very poor.
Really?
It's like Platoon. It's got one theme, and it runs throughout. Don't think it works. It adds a little bit of tension, but once we hit the first few 10 minutes, for me, it could have been done with no score. We could have just had a jungle. It'd have been such more of immersion of filmmaking there.
Just jungle explosions.
And weirdly enough, it's by Alan Silvestri as well, who's quite well known for doing a lot of action films.
What else has he done?
He's done quite a few Schwarzenegger films.
Okay.
I think he's done.
Did he do Commando or something?
No, Commando's 20th Century Fox, but Commando wasn't a big film.
Oh, okay.
I can't believe I've never seen. You need to watch Commando. You need to start.
I
your
need
prize.
to sort my life out, really.
Yeah.
I mean, if I was going to, as we're going to recommend it to people, I would recommend Total Recall because everyone's seen Terminator. If you're going to watch Predator, I would watch this. I watch Total Recall and Commando. I mean, that's very similar. You get it.
Yeah, I agree.
Alan Silvestri. I'm just looking at it. So it's the Avengers, Forrest Gump, Captain America. Except for Forrest Gump.
I don't recognise any of those themes.
Very poor score. I mean, there's a few pieces of cinematography in there I quite like with the Predator.
So, overall, what do you think?
Overall, for 1987, it stands up quite well to this day. looking back on it, there are quite a few elements I don't like. But overall, I think Schwarzenegger's good in it. It's got a very well-rounded cast. Director's really good in it. It's quite well wrote. I mean, it's quite well produced. I love the setting, I love the location. The music I'm not too fond about. I would recommend it to other people. And I think that if I mean,
it's definitely a film you have to watch. I mean, I would
watch it.
I don't look back.
I would watch it.
I don't look back on it and think I regret watching it. I look back on it and I think, oh, I've watched a bit of cinema history there, but I'm not gonna watch it again.
Yeah, I think you could. It's so. I mean, me and Dave could quote it all day.
Yeah.
I don't ever regret watching it, and I don't think you would regret watching it. So I definitely. But it's not Magnolia. You're not going to be sat there for 3 hours going,
"Oh, this is interesting."
I don't understand this. It's very on the nail. It's very on the nose. But overall, I think I know I really enjoyed Predator.
Well, everyone knows what I think because we've gone over that already.
Yeah.
So if you have an opinion on the film, Twitter audience or YouTube audience, put it in the YouTube comments. Put it in the Twitter audience, and we'll retweet it. We'll comment back to you.
I mean, if you've got an interesting point, make it note so we can add it into the thing. Cause
not even that, just like if you have a comment about the film, like I think it's interesting. It's definitely a film we are split. All of us are split because Dave's had different opinions on it. I've had different opinions on it. You've had your different.
I wouldn't have thought it would have sparked the debate.
I'm surprised.
I think it's gone from sort of I love it, you like it, Rob hates it.
I don't hate it.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah,
I don't think you hate it.
It's like a very very mixed bunch of apples.
I mean, it's just watching it again. I don't know. I mean, I just like to just send them. I'm quite thankful everyone watching the YouTube. I mean, please watch YouTube because I mean we get to know who's watching it.
We wanted to make a SoundCloud, but we had a bit of trouble going.
Yeah,
on
also iTunes we may venture into iTunes in the future. So. Rob, you need to be quiet now.
Shut the fuck up, Donny.
Thank you very much for joining us.
Call back.
Stay tuned to the next few days on updates on our Twitter.
Yeah.
Follow us on at Moviebusters.
Mention the poll because we're.
And remember to vote on this Tuesday about the new poll we're going to do about the new theme, which is directional debuts. But I cannot say
we've released
no more.
it.
I can
Release
say no
the
more.
theme.
I can say no more.
That'll be on straw poll as well because we had some problems with the Twitter poll expiring. Yeah, because it expired after 2 days.
I can change that.
Yeah, we'll sort it out anyway. It'll be
on the poll.
It'll be on the
look
poll.
like shit, Rob.
Right.
Thanks for watching.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Bye.
Thanks for watching our podcast.
Bye. See you later. Oh my god.